And this one does have a set goal, but it just doesn't have a set villain, and it throws me off a little.
Yeah, it's like you almost could say this season would be filler.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Yes, back. We didn't disappear. It wasn't just one episode. We're back to Irbal Sinergy, the podcast. I'm your host, Sinji. With me, my co-host, as always, Irby.
What's up, folks? It's me, baby.
What's going on? What's going on?
Shoot, you know the usual.
What's the usual?
Out here watching TV in the use, baby.
All right, Irby.
Yeah, dog.
How many episodes of JoJo's you think I watched?
Probably about 8.
Oh, close. I almost watched 8 when I watched an episode of the beginning after the end before we hopped on Discord. So 7. The answer is 7.
7 episodes. Yeah, I had a nice idea.
What was the idea?
The idea of you watching 7 episodes. I said, you enjoyed them though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of them feel weird, but yes.
Yeah, this one, I like I said, I don't think there's like an overlying point or like overall theme to this season, but it's like, you still enjoy it without like having a main, I don't know, goal, idea, villain, something along those lines.
Yeah, I get what you're trying. Yeah, because it was clear what you were doing the first two I'm gonna call season 1 2 seasons because like two different stories.
It was long.
Yeah, two different.
Longest.
Yeah, and there's 2 different Joestar main characters, so like I feel like season 1 should be 2 different ones. So I'm just gonna. I know I'm on the 3rd season, but I'm gonna consider this like the 4th arc. The 4th arc. The first 3 arcs had a very like set goal, and this one does have a set goal, but it just doesn't have a set villain, and it throws me off a little.
Yeah, it's like you almost could say this season would be filler. But it's not because it ties into.
Yeah, but it's also good. Yeah, it doesn't feel like filler because it's actually good, and it's just like, man, maybe they could have just done a little more.
Yeah, I think what definitely throws it off is not having a full villain or someone that you have to be like, I gotta hate this guy, or this guy's doing this for the show.
Yeah,
that throws it off for me too, because I was like, okay, when they come in here, like, is the Arrow the villain? Is that who we're looking at?
Yeah, man, like I really thought it was so misleading when they showed me the first guy who like beat and raped people, and I was like, they trying to make someone worse than Dio, but he was out the paint real quick.
Yeah, he got jacked up early.
So now I'm just
I was like, he's despicable, but then he got yoked up real quick.
Yeah, now I'm just like, all right, well, what are we doing? Like, how are we gonna?
Like, who else can I hate now?
How are we gonna finesse this?
Yeah,
because But do you have a flavor this week?
I don't have a flavor this week, but.
No.
I did start watching the Brilliant Healer's New Life in the Shadows.
Oh, I just put that on my list.
Yeah, I'm 6 episodes in. I enjoy it. It has different undertones, that makes sense.
You enjoy? Okay, cool. I literally right before we hopped on, I put that on my list.
I see. Yeah, the next episode, I watched all the English dubs So the next episode, just like, oh, want to watch the next episode Japanese? I was like, oh, I can't because I'm working. But yeah, it's good. I enjoy him. He's not like a protagonist. Is like, oh, I'm so overpowered. I'm gonna do this, but like, he's like a nurturer that like, hey, I want to help folks to do this. And granted, he could come in and just like wreck everything, but he just leaves decisions up to other folks, and then he helps out those that get hurt. So he will step in when he needs to, but essentially he's like, I'll call him like a safety blanket. Like he'll look through and be like, oh, make sure you don't get hurt or don't get overran type deal. But
So would you say?
but he is
How do I want to say
overpowered.
this?
But he doesn't.
How do I want to say this? Would you say like? Did you watch Eminence in Shadow?
I can't say I've watched it.
All right, that's what say. Okay, I don't really have anything to compare him to then.
You give it a try.
Well, the Eminence Shadow, like his whole thing is, he doesn't want to be the main character, so that's why he has an ultra ego, called Shadow, and like he works in the shadows and he's OP, but like everyone treats his normal character kind of like he portrays himself as a beta.
Wet noodle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Because it's like, I mean, I wouldn't say this guy's necessarily like that because he doesn't mind people knowing who he is. But he's like, yeah, I'm just a simple healer in the shadows. Like he downplays his identity per se.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like him. He's cool. So far.
I'm with it. Do I have a flavor this week? Honestly, if I had to throw a shout out to a series, give me one. I don't remember the name, but I do want to shout it out because it's short. I think you'd enjoy it because it's nice and short, and it's kind of like almost like ReZero, but like reimagined. But I have to find the name of it. Hold on.
ReZero reimagined.
So it would have been. My dog's crying for some reason. Not sure why. Yeah, I think my wife's about to go check on him. Scrolling. I just want to. Oh, Night Under My Heart. And it's kind of, like I said, it's kind of like got a ReZero vibe to it. But like, so this kid, he was supposed to go, I guess, to a studying camp, but he got invited to like this game testing thing, and kind of like Sword Art Online, like the people trapped him in a VR, and they made everything he experienced real. So like he was this complete noob, but like he was supposed to play commander. He kept dying to like the boss that was like severely OP, and eventually like he started, once he got past the trauma of dying, he started like learning on how to progress, and like there was just one NPC that kept like staying by his side, and like it started like making him like, oh, I need to save this person if anything. And it's really 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 good story. I should have told Pete about it. Like it's not long. It's only got let me see, it's only got 40 chapters. 40 banger and done.
40 banger.
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy.
But that's all I had. You know, we can talk about something else now if you want to, my good sir.
Yeah, it's either JoJo's or did you talk about a little episode of Boruto?
Dealer's choice.
I haven't dealt in years.
You gonna deal today?
Nah, not me.
All right.
But yeah, your choice. Go ahead, dog. Talk about JoJo's.
Talk about JoJo's. Oh,
Yeah, you can talk about
JoJo's. Mojo JoJo's.
Cherry Cola.
I could talk about some JoJo's if you want me to talk about some JoJo's.
Yeah, dog. Spice it up.
Okay, so let me see. I left off right at I told you I watched half of the first episode of that crazy chick that was in love with Koichi.
Koichi, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so getting into the first part and second part, she is batshit crazy and she abducts him. And before she abducts him, he expresses interest to Josuke and the other Duts that he wanted to break up with her, but they were like, nah, she's batshit crazy, dude. If you do that, you might send her off the deep end. So they tried to like talk bad about him so that she would overhear, and the result of that was her abducting him and trying to straighten him out.
Yeah.
Into which where she saw his grades and it's like, no, you have to study. And she was giving him tests and with answers, and like depending on the answer he picked, he'd have to eat something. And his first answer was correct, so he got something that was really good, but the second answer was wrong. And I forget what it was, but like it was like, English vocab covered soap. Things along that line. And Josuke and the Duts were trying to find him, and when she went to go grocery shopping, Koichi used reverb to look around the area, which reverb has quite a bit of range. Then he found the payphone, to which homegirl Yukako, I think that's her name. I think that's how you pronounce that. I'll just call her Yamagishi. To which Yamagishi like found him, like, you're not looking for any payphones or anything. And when she went, she said she was gonna just destroy the emergency button. And that's when Koichi Stan did something really interesting to me, where like he put the sound of dials, I guess, on her arm or on the phone, and it actually ended up calling Josuke. And I was just like, how does that work? I don't understand how this works. I don't understand how a stand works, I'll be honest. That's the only reason I'm really talking about this episode so much. Because his stand, like, fascinates me on, like, the things it's capable of doing. And I just don't understand why it's capable of doing certain things. Like, I get that, like, reverb plays sounds. But, like, the sound itself actually made the phone dial out and call Josuke. And then when they finally show up and it's time for like Koichi to like stand his ground, and he like goes at her. Okay, we're back. I don't really know where I left off, but
you're talking about
reverb,
his
right?
stand. You didn't know.
Yeah, so like Koichi stand like evolved. They like went from from a Cyberman to like a cell looking midget thing. And he called it Reverb 2.0, which up to this point I've never seen a Stan evolve. So that itself was very interesting. And what was more interesting is the way it could affect other things. So like if he wrote, I think he wrote like boom or something on himself. So when she grabbed him with his hair, she got blown away. But then she like fell off a cliff, and he wrote boing on like some sharp rocks, and she bounced off the rocks. And I was just like, how can his words affect the textures of the environment? I think Koichi might have the most OP stand, and he probably just not using it right.
Yeah. I think they get to telling what his stuff really is later on, what he could do. Like he's still just learning stuff, but he is one of the first ones that I've seen stand shift forms. Cause they went from something like Cyberman to a new one. It's like, huh, that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know that was possible. I didn't know this, that, and the other.
It's really interesting. So,
It is.
had Netflix up. So then after, where does it keep going? Just show me the episodes. Open the freaking window. Thank you. The Stan Chef was interesting. Even though it turned out to be a big misunderstanding, and like his food was kind of technically killing the Duts, but like making him healthier at the same time. Like his rotten teeth leaving and then growing in, and his skin coming off, and like all the stuff that like he had to go through pain for the better stuff to come in. And all that was just like, man, this guy's definitely an enemy stand. He wasn't. He was just he really loves cooking, and Josuke used his stand to revert the ingredients back to their original state, and that's where he saw the guy's stand was the tomatoes with the mean looking face. And honestly, even though it turned out to be a misunderstanding, I don't know if I would have been okay with eating that.
Yeah. I don't know either.
It's just like, oh man, I don't know about that. So then we get to Chili Pepper Part 1 and 2, and yo, my man Joseph is back as a senile freaking a sad soul. He's sad. It's sad what my boy looks like right now.
Yeah, I had told you that. I was like, I was like, they did massacre my boy. I was like, yeah. I was like, you might see him this season, which I knew you would, because just looking at him, I'm like, man, he got some stuff. I was like, oh, they massacred him.
Yeah, it's sad what they did to my boy. I don't really appreciate it, but you know.
I also feel like it could just be part of an act too.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe
You'll see what I mean later.
I will.
Yeah, because I'm like,
But yeah, Chili Pepper Part 1, Part 2. I'll just note the things I enjoyed out of that, and the first part was actually I'm gonna skip Part 1. It wasn't that notable. I'm going straight to Part 2, the doc, where it was Josuke's fight against Chili Pepper, and how Chili Pepper Stan was using the grates to torture Josuke, but then Josuke just started punching the ground, and like Koichi didn't know why he was doing that until like he saw the oil and then realized, oh, he used his stand on the ground to put the asphalt back to its original state, which like involves oil. So, and oil either doesn't conduct electricity or does conduct electricity. I forget the signs of it all, but it allowed Koichi to tell Josuke where the stand was coming up from, and Josuke beat the crap out of him and sent him into the water, where he dispersed.
Yeah, I think oil you probably would feel the vibrations more at first, because it's like viscous. So it would I would say you would definitely uh yeah, it doesn't travel vibrations and sound doesn't travel well through solid matter, but like air or water you can feel it more, I guess one would say.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, continue.
So yeah, they defeat the Chili Pepper, and they're waiting for the boat to show up. And Josuke's having, he's not too. I'll say he's confused about meeting Joseph. And then they notice that the stand user's gone, which was kind of weird because like the stand dispersed into the water. But you don't really see the stand again. Like he didn't use it when he got on the boat. He went to the boat. He swam all the way there, which was he got there pretty quick for swimming. The boat wasn't that close to the shore.
Manpower, baby.
Yeah, and then like ended up being like someone from the Speedwagon Foundation. And the enemy stand dressed as the crew, and the Dutts didn't know who was who. And his end all be all solution was just to punch either one of them in the face, and if it wasn't right, he just punched the other one. So they ended up getting the stand user again, and that's when the boat docked, and Josuke met Joseph, and his cane broke, and so instead of fixing his cane, Josuke, he took the opportunity to kind of bond with Joseph a little and help him walk. It was a nice touching.
Yeah.
It was a nice touching moment.
With his father.
Yeah, it was a nice touching moment. Next episode was another filler episode. It seems to be like every other. It's just a few here in between. But next episode was the Invisible Baby episode, which was all right. It was cool. It got kind of like I don't know how serious Joseph was towards the end of the episode when he said like I don't want to be a burden. I'm near the end of my line anyway, and then like he cut his wrist in the river, but that ended up being to find the baby who was making everything visible, and the baby was underwater. Like I thought that baby was gone. I don't know how the river actually didn't take the baby. 'Cause rivers have a current.
They do.
Yeah, I don't know how the baby stood like dead in the water. Bless you. But, Josuke realized what Joseph was doing. He got the baby and healed Joseph. So then we get to a really
That's
interesting.
why I didn't think he was senile, because like for you to be like, oh, let me use my blood to find this baby.
Yeah, that was genius. But like it made me think, like, does Joseph not know what Josuke's stand is capable of?
I have no idea.
Because, like, I don't think Josuke has used to stand around him, but, like, the things Joseph was doing doesn't, like, lead me to believe, like, oh, he definitely knows about the ability. I don't know. It was getting...
Yeah.
I don't know. But, whatever. Yeah, they got the... They didn't get the baby to the... I have to assume that eventually they got the baby to the mom. They don't really show what happened to the baby in the next 2 episodes, but it was funny when he drew a face on the kid. Just so that the kid wouldn't creep people out. But the next 2 episodes... This villain was interesting. The manga villain, his stand ability was really interesting, and I think the way it was weird. So the manga artist has the ability to, if you read his product, he can turn your body into basically like a manga of sorts, or like a light novel with pictures and stuff like that, where he can like read everything that's happened in your life. And excuse me, he can rip out the pages, which you'll pay for in losing weight, and like he can write in the pages of your body like, hey, you can't harm me. You're gonna forget everything that happened while you're out of this house and things like that. So at first, I thought Koichi was being set up by that dude Hazmata, because
Yeah.
he just seemed sketchy the entire time, but he really was just a super big nerd and just a creep. But the manga artist was obsessed with Koichi's story, so he wanted him coming back, and somehow through plot armor, Josuke and the Duts realized what was wrong with Koichi. I mean, they did say it was the cut on his finger. They gave it away, but the manga artist had everyone trapped there because he wrote in the Duts' pages that if Josuke leaves, he's gonna kill himself with fire. So Josuke couldn't leave, but Josuke knew that he couldn't open his eyes to see the stand user, because then he'd fall victim to the stand power as well. But the stand user read Koichi's pages to realize that Josuke flips out when he when someone talks crap about his hair, which ultimately, ironically, ended up being his downfall, because he had Josuke open his eyes, but Koichi didn't know that Josuke would like really, really be blind with rage and seething. So the stand still didn't work because Josuke was seeing red and not him.
Yeah.
And we learned the story behind the hair, and the hair, as far as we know, because Koichi said, I don't know if it's true. I thought he was just making it up. But the hair, back when they were fighting, back when Jotaro and Joseph were fighting Dio, and like I guess Joseph's daughter was sick, so was Josuke. I think he had what the mom had. And Josuke's mom was trying to rush him to a hospital, and she got caught in a blizzard. And I think some high school kid with that hair, pushed the car and could have very well saved his life. But I don't think those doctors did anything. I think they just beat Dio in time.
Yeah.
But all Josuke really had of his savior that night was the knowledge of the style hair he has. So he wears that hair as a kind of like a tribute to his savior.
Homage.
Yeah, and like anyone who disrespects that guy. So it's not really he's attached to the hair itself. He wants to pay back the guy who helped save his life the only way he knows how to.
There's a moment that you'll see later.
Oh, is that guy going to show up and he's a stand user?
You'll see. Like,
I thought it was him.
Full circle.
I thought it was him. I was like, is that Josuke?
You shall see.
But it would be funny if it actually was Josuke and then he's like, oh, it was me? I could finally stop wearing this stupid ass hairdo.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious. But that's all I have for JoJo's.
Oh, yeah. So we are on to
Boruto
Uzumaki.
I almost forgot he was an Uzumaki, bro. I was like, what?
Yeah. I feel like Boruto, it was getting good with the fight. He came in with the bowl, saved Konohamaru. Just like, yeah, you got to get him out of here. Do this, that, and the other. I was like, yeah, you do it. Go on. But yeah, it wasn't too much, but it was like a lot where you're like, man, I got to wait a whole nother month to figure out what happens.
Yeah.
Because that fight they were fighting through, and
that's
what
I'm saying. Like, I'd be okay if you just gave me shorter chapters weekly. I'd feel better about that.
That's that One Piece in you speaking.
It's this, all of it. It's everything that almost everything but freaking Dragon Ball and Boruto come out weekly. other than Black Clover, I think there's something going on with the creator. Maybe they're just having writer's block and don't know how to wrap up the show. But
Yeah.
everything else is weekly. Just, come on, stop playing with me.
Yeah, like I like the fact that Boruto was like, "Oh, I got to use the Uzahiko, get it on him," and then so he essentially lets himself get caught, and then he attacked him. And then turns out he can get it countered. I was like, "Oh man, this
I feel
ultimate
like-
attack gets countered."
Yeah, man. Here's my issue with that. I feel like Jiraiya's clone should have kind of alluded to Boruto into knowing, yeah, here's this move I can help you learn faster. Oh yeah, it doesn't work on Jura.
Yeah, I'm not sure if his foresight goes that far ahead.
Well, he sees multiple futures, so he knew what things Boruto could and couldn't do. So I'm just like, bro, you couldn't tell him.
Essentially, he did tell him if you go, you're gonna die. Which
Yeah,
is
but
saying,
like you could at least told him like, hey, this thing, it'll only work for like a brief moment. Don't ease up. Because I think Boruto got hit on purpose so he can catch him in the Uchihiku. And then, like, had he known he was going to recover that quickly, he could have just attacked right away.
Yeah, well, I think he let himself get caught because he can only use the Uzahiko if he's grounded to Earth.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
100%
it's
the
like-
reason he got caught.
Yeah.
I
But
think,
I still don't think
he
it-
felt like, hey, I'm going to tank this first hit because, like, I need to catch him.
Yeah, I mean, he essentially teleported to him.
Yeah.
So I don't think that mattered necessarily. But either way, I'm like, his ultimate attack can get countered. I'm like, oh, they ought to just should just left him there to die. Them folks, you know. But so I wonder who's gonna come save him. Because I don't feel like other folks are strong enough. Mitsuki might give up his life for him.
That's my son. I can't
Yeah.
let my son die.
Or what else I could see happening was if Mitsuki, he essentially almost is dying and Boruto teleports to him and then teleports away. Or he awakens his eyeball. So, like, no telling. But I'm excited to see where it goes from there because the fight, I was like, oh yeah, counter fight. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Teleport, slash. I was like, yeah, it's getting good, baby.
It was good. It was good. It was a little. My only thing with like the chapters sometimes is like they make it a little difficult sometimes to keep up with what they're trying to portray happen. Like I didn't realize Boruto got hit until I saw blood out of his mouth. Then I had to go back a little because like it's just the way it all. Like,
I knew he got hit. I was like, ooh. But yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, it was a good chapter. I'm excited for the next one when it in another month.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how many more episodes of this season JoJo's I have? There's 39 in this season, and I'm on 16 is next for me. All right, so I have essentially 24 episodes.
It's good though.
Yeah.
It
I have vacation coming
Just-
up, so maybe I'll just binge a lot of JoJo's.
you might, but it's definitely interesting. The next season, I think I enjoyed the next season a lot.
Yeah, it's just so I'm not enjoying this season. It's just
Yeah,
it's just an
this
interesting
season-
format they used.
Yeah, just because I'm like, there's no real main boss, and then it just feels like doesn't feel like they're trying hard, but it just feels different than what one be used to.
On other news, you ever seen the clips to that anime Komi Can't Communicate with the girl who can't communicate?
No, I can't say I have.
Oh, I got my kid asked me for like a list of animes she can watch, and she's like I gave her this last night. I know for a fact she didn't watch an episode last night. This child is on episode 8
Of that show?
of that show. Yeah,
Is it a good show?
I enjoyed it. I mean, it's just like a slice of life. There's no. It's just everyone likes this girl, and this girl she has trouble communicating how she feels. And
Yeah,
there's a
that's
love interest
everybody.
that like I don't recall it ever getting like too deep because it's just it's just it can be considered a kid show.
Okay. You gotta get on that Uramichi One-san.
Nah, I'm cool on that. I made a little playlist for her that I told her she can watch. She said there was one that used to be on like Netflix Kids, but like it got taken out. I think it's this one she added, From Me to You. I don't know what it's about, but I put Komi Can't Communicate, Haikyuu. I put Inuyasha on there, My Hero, Rising Impact.
Rise and Impact.
There's someone here she actually can't see, so I hope she remembers the ones I put on.
And she won't remember. They
Yeah,
never remember.
she's gonna see some crazy. If she goes too far on that list. And let me take off the stuff that she can't watch off the list.
Yeah.
I don't need Demon Slayer. I already remove. I don't need Villain Saga on here.
You talking about from your crunchy list?
Nah, this is on Netflix. I don't need Baki Hanma on here. I definitely don't need Baki on here. Yeah, Baki
That's
be a
crazy.
terrible thing, right? Black Clover is not too bad. I don't really think it's that like gory, but I'm just gonna take it off anyway.
I'd be more worried about the risque stuff.
Yeah. I put Inuyasha's on there. Inuyasha's is fine.
Yeah,
Volleyball and golf anime is fine.
Yeah, it's fine wine.
But that's all I have to talk about.
Yeah, that's all I got too. Other than there is this new the steroid Olympics that they're hosting in Nevada in 2026.
Steroid Olympics, like not even shying away from it.
Yeah, like you can enter in and you can use performance enhancing drugs.
Huh.
And so already one of the guys had what he did. I think he broke a record already. Doing the route or something. So
That's
I was
gotta.
like, oh man,
I have to feel like that's gonna make some people sick.
what performance enhancing drugs?
Yeah, just like the knowledge that like, hey, we can do this without repercussions, and then like people might just go crazy doing it.
I mean, they were probably doing it before.
True.
Yeah, but I'm like, huh. Because I think one of the kids, he already broke a long standing world record. And I was like, ooh, that's going to be bad.
The records that come from that should be separate from the records that are in the regular Olympics. I feel like
They will be.
Yeah, that's what I feel like.
Because I think there's strict guidelines where you have to submit to testing and do this and the other and whatnot. So I feel like that's one of them. So
It'd only be fair.
yeah, they shouldn't count. I know. I think Michael Phelps needs to come back out of retirement so he can go in there.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Good old Michael Phelps.
I just want to see how fast he would go. But yeah, that's it. That's a
Super
guy. I thought it was
fast.
interesting to see.
He'd go super fast, Irby.
Fast, the fastest in the West.
The Wild Wild West, Wild Wild West.
Wild Wild West. You can go into the Wild Wild West.
All right, well, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed, like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll catch you next time. Peace.
Thanks.